All right. Hi, my name is Jenny, and I am the DC Outreach Coordinator at First Shift, which provides free legal services to working parents, caregivers, and pregnant people. We support working families to make sure that they can take care of their loved ones and their family-related responsibilities, whether that means taking time off for caregiving purposes, accessing pregnancy accommodations in the workplace, or just needing further legal representation to address workplace discrimination. I am joined by Daniela, and we'll be talking a bit about our respective organizations and about DC parental leave.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Gonzalez Rios. I am the Health Justice Coordinator at Advocates for Justice and Education, DC's federally designated parent training and information center. Our mission at AJE is to educate and empower families, youth, and community about the laws governing public education, especially for children with disabilities and/or special healthcare needs, so they can understand and advocate for their rights and their children's rights in the education, health, and justice systems. Today, I'll be sharing some information for families to prepare for their upcoming parent-teacher conferences. I'll pass it back to you, Jenny.
Yeah, so what exactly is the DC Parental Leave Act? This is a specific DC law that allows working parents and guardians to take up to 24 hours of leave within a 12-month period for school-related activities. This time off can be unpaid or paid depending on your workplace and what access to paid leave you might have. But regardless, as a worker in DC, you do have that time off. Ideally, you should provide advance notice 10 days before an event if you know when it's going to happen. And other primary caregivers are covered under this law, such as aunts, uncles, and grandparents, as long as they are currently working in DC as well. When we say school-related activities, this could mean events like concerts, plays, sports events, and parent-teacher conferences. So let's say, for example, your child plays the cello in the school orchestra, is a soccer player, and has an upcoming parent-teacher conference. The DC Parental Leave Act is there to allow you to take that time off so you can participate in those activities. For example, they might have a concert coming up during a shift you have, and you find out 2 weeks before, you can request that time off that you need. Or maybe your child is playing in a 4-hour soccer tournament. Under DC law, as a worker and parent, you can make use of the DC Parental Leave Act so that you don't have to miss out on these important moments with your child. Additionally, you can take this time off for matters like a parent-teacher conference, which I will let Daniela speak more about and how to prepare for them.
Thank you, Jenny. So, as schools are getting ready to host parent-teacher conferences, this is your time, families, to plan and prepare for upcoming meetings. If you believe your child may need special education services or has a disability and needs additional support to thrive as a learner, they may qualify for support through an individualized education program, an IEP. These are educational plans meant to make sure your child gets what they need to thrive in schools. Navigating the IEP process can feel intimidating, so today I'll share some information to get you started. Let's say you would like your child to receive additional support, and you have the right to request an evaluation at any time. First, you would need to put your request in writing and send it to your child's principal or the school's special education coordinator. In that writing, you should include your child's full name and grade, your concerns about their academic and developmental growth progress, and a request for a full evaluation to determine if your child qualifies for special education under the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. The IDEA is a federal law that ensures students with disabilities receive a free and appropriate public education. It guarantees special education services, early intervention, and necessary support so that children with disabilities can succeed throughout their educational journey. If you've requested an evaluation, the school team must reach back out to you to obtain your written consent for evaluation within 30 calendar days of when you requested an evaluation. If the school agrees that an evaluation is appropriate, you'll be asked to sign a consent form. Please note that no evaluation can begin without your written consent. So it's important that you respond. Once you give that consent, the school has 60 calendar days to complete the evaluation and determine whether your child is eligible for special education services. If your child is found eligible, the school must develop and begin implementing an individualized educational program, an IEP, within 30 calendar days of the eligibility decision. I do want to emphasize that these dates and timelines are important, as schools may exceed the specified time frame. Therefore, it's essential that you keep track of the calendar days and you follow up if the school does not meet that deadline. Now, let's say that you already have gone through this process. Your child has an IEP, and now you are preparing for parent-teacher conferences. Parent-teacher conferences are valuable opportunities to go beyond reviewing grades. Use this time to ask whether your child is meeting their IEP goals and how they are doing socially and emotionally. Share what strategies are working well at home and ask how you can support your child's learning outside of school. Your voice matters. You know your child best, and you deserve to be heard. Speak up and don't be afraid to ask questions. You belong in that room. As you prepare, you have an IEP meeting. Sorry. As you prepare to have an IEP meeting, parent-teacher conference, here are some suggestions to be mindful of. Keep your key documents organized, both on paper and/or electronically. This includes the latest IEP or 504 plan, the evaluation summary, care plans for if your child has asthma, seizures, or allergies, health and immunization forms, medication authorizations, and emergency contacts. This helps you stay organized and on top of the documents that the school should have a copy of, and you as well. Confirm with your child's doctors, schedule checkups, and align prescriptions with the school calendar. Check your insurance or your DC Medicaid Alliance renewal, and update transportation and meal benefits. This is really important because as you advocate for your child's doctors and medical records are great ways to reinforce the support your child needs. You have the right to request all reports, data, and IEP documentation at least 5 days before your IEP meeting to allow time for review. Parents have the right to language access, which includes requesting interpretation services for the IEP meeting and asking for IEP documents to be translated into your preferred language. Often, families are pushed aside because of language barriers. Remember that you have the right to receive communication in your preferred language. Review documents sent to you before the meeting and prepare any questions you may have. You can also bring a notebook. And many people don't know this, but you can bring a friend or an advocate to be there with you and support you throughout that meeting, to help you take notes and also help you ask any questions. During the IEP meetings or parent-teacher conferences, there are several key things to look out for. Your child's IEP must include measurable annual goals. These are learning goals that they will achieve by the end of the year, along with a clear explanation of how progress will be monitored and shared with you. You should receive progress reports as frequently as report cards are issued to all students, typically on a quarterly basis. If the school is not providing the progress reports to you, request them. You have the right to receive progress reports and track how your child is doing, even outside an IEP meeting. It just doesn't have to be an IEP meeting to receive those progress updates on your child. You should also be receiving progress reports. If your child is not making the expected progress, you have the right to request for an IEP meeting review at any time. I would like to end on this note. You are your child's first and most important advocate. And at AJE, we are here to support you and equip you with resources and trainings to advocate for your child. You can check out our YouTube channel that has recordings of past training sessions that we have hosted for our families. Just look up Advocates for Justice and Education on YouTube on the search bar, and you can watch the videos on your own time. I would suggest you bring a notebook and take some notes as you are watching to help you prepare. If you have any questions or need to get in contact with us, we have trained people who can answer your call, find out what the issue is, and guide you through providing you with some resources and getting you in contact with other resources that you may be in need of. We also have lawyers who can provide legal advice if you have some legal concerns. And our team can be reached at 212-678 8060. Or you can check out our website at aje-dc.org. Thank you. Jenny, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that rundown on parent-teacher conferences so that parents and guardians can go into those meetings feeling more confident and ready. Again, just wanting to emphasize that the DC Parental Leave Act is a law so that parents and guardians can attend these types of meetings, making sure that you can show up and be an advocate for your child or for the child in your life that you may be a primary caregiver of. So, again, that is a resource available to workers. On the first shift end of things, we are also here as a legal resource. So, if you're trying to access time off and are experiencing roadblocks with this, for example, maybe your employer is denying your request for time off. We are here to provide legal consultations. We additionally have a team of lawyers um, who are really experienced and want to talk with families about what they might be going through in the workplace to make sure that you are getting access to the time off that you are, legally able to have. So definitely don't hesitate to contact us. Something I also wanted to name are other ways to access time off in the workplace for extended leave beyond just, school-related activities that might be a few hours. We have the Family and Medical Leave Act, which there's both the federal and DC version of this. And this is unpaid job protected time off in case you need to caregive for a family member, right? Whether that be a child, an older parent, etc., taking care of your own serious health conditions, or time to bond with a new child. Let's say your child has become sick or has a disability that may necessitate you taking um, more time off to caregive. FMLA provides 12 weeks of leave or 16 if you're making use of the DC version, provided you have been working at least a year at your job. On the federal version, the other requirements is that it's a place of employment with 50 or more employees. Um, and the DC version is that there are 20 or more employees in the workplace. And it ensures that when you return to work, you will have the same or similar position, hence why it is called job protected time off. We want to make sure that families are aware of the law so you don't feel like you have to compromise on taking care of your loved ones and making sure that you can continue to provide. At First Shift, one of our main missions is to help people maintain their employment. And so being able to help folks in that process of requesting their time off, making sure they have, for example, pregnancy accommodations as needed, all things that allow people to continue going to work and not having to stress about losing their employment or, for example, deciding to quit their job because the process of going back and forth with an employer has just caused too much emotional distress. Some additional workplace tips I wanted to share that First Shift often provides for folks is things like reading your employee handbook and policies carefully. So familiarizing yourself with what are the policies already in place for accessing time off, planning ahead for leave and returning to work. Daniela talked a lot about a timeline. And so, additionally, with generally taking time off in the workplace, knowing what your timeline is really crucial for advocating for yourself and making sure you know what your plan is, and your employer is not the one determining that for you. Document communications about leave and accommodations in writing whenever possible. I always encourage folks to take screenshots of messages or emails. Um, Reporting discrimination and denial of leave or combinations through available channels, whether that's talking to HR at your place of work, or talking to a manager, just attempting to inform people in your workplace about maybe what is happening with your situation, and then kind of coming full circle, don't quit unless there are extenuating circumstances or it was something you previously planned. At First Shift, we want, again, to help people maintain their employment. And so if you're in a situation where you are looking for consultation, you need to speak with a lawyer. We are certainly here to speak with folks. So I really want to give a big thank you to Daniela and Advocates for Justice and Education for all their hard work in supporting families. If you would like to repeat how people can reach out to you.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. And thank you for First Shift for having me. Thank you, Jenny. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions or you need to get in contact with AJE, you can reach us at 212-678-8060, or you can check out our website, which we have blogs and a bunch of different resources and um, sorry, upcoming trainings at aje-dc.org.
Yeah. And you can reach out to First Shift via email at intake@firstshift.org or by phone at 202-644-9043. Typically, we have an intake process. You call within 72 hours, somebody will reach back out to you and then schedule you to speak with one of our lawyers in a more in-depth conversation. So we are always encouraging folks to reach out, even if you don't feel confident that your situation falls under our umbrella, we will do our best to assist you. So, yes, thank you for watching. And please reach out to First Shift and Advocates for Justice in Education with all of your questions.
Yeah, thank you.